Alright guys, welcome back to the next Dice Throw on How to Play. This is the Vampire Lord. So even though it kind of looks like a girl, and honestly it could be either or, it's the Vampire Lord. So basically this is a Season 2 character that not a lot of people play, so it is very rare to see someone play this character because she is a little complex. So first of all, she has 3 new tokens for us to deal with. We actually have talked about Bleed before, but Mesmerize and Blood Power are her main ones. Basically the thing about this character is you want to gain Blood Power. So what does Blood Power do? Well, it's stacked 5, so you can have up to 5 of them at a time. And you can use these to unlock each of these once per turn. So you can actually spend 5 tokens and do both 3 tokens and 2 tokens and activate both of these, but you can't activate this 5 times, activate this 5 times, 2 times, 1. You can only do it once per turn for each of these. So let's say you spend 1 token during your offensive roll phase, meaning that if you get an attack, like let's say you get Gouge right here and deal 5 damage, you can spend this token and add 3 damage, dealing now 8 damage. So that's a plus 3 damage, so now you're doing 3 damage more with 1 token, so very easy to just spend that every time. But you can also, if you have 2 of these tokens, let's say someone inflicts you with Bleed, like let's say you're playing against a Huntress and she inflicts you with Bleed. Well, you can spend 2 of these tokens and during one of your main phases and remove that token. So 1 token to add 3 damage, and 2 tokens to remove a status effect from a chosen player. You can do this from yourself, or you can do this, let's say you're playing against a character that has Memorized. Let's say you're playing against another Vampire Lord. Well, you can spend 2 of these tokens to remove Mesmerized from their board. So you can move negative status effects from yourself, or positive status effects from other players. So it's a plus, a win-win. And this also makes her pretty good in 2v2s as well, because she can just remove stuff like burn or stun from her other teammate. But let's say you have 3 of these tokens. We can spend 3 of these tokens at any time to draw 2 cards. So you can draw 2 extra cards for free as long as you have 3 tokens to spend. But then let's say you have 4 tokens. Well, this is the max you can spend. Well, you can also, if you have 5 tokens, you can spend 4 and then spend 1 token to add 3 damage for an attack. Let's say you're going to spend 4 tokens, just 4 tokens. For this, you can heal the amount of damage equal to the damage your attack successfully dealt. What this basically means is, let's say you are doing 7 damage to your opponent. So you're doing 8 damage. You're dealing 8 damage to an opponent. This is the damage you deal to an opponent. 8 damage. You spend these 4 tokens, you heal 8 damage. So yeah, let's say you do, what's the most powerful attack on here? Well, let's say you do this, because it's 4 undefendable damage, so you can add 3 damage with 1 token, so now it does 7 undefendable damage by spending 1 token, and you can spend your other 4 tokens to heal that 7 undefendable damage, because since it's undefendable, most likely it's going to hit, so not only are you dealing plus 3 damage to this, and now it's 7 undefendable damage, but also you're healing 7 as well. So Vampire Lord, very overpowered character when it comes to lifesteal. But she also has a positive token, Mesmerize. She can spend this at any time and force an opponent to reroll a dice. Let's say an opponent rolls a large straight, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She can spend this dice and tell them to reroll the 3, because the 3 is in the middle of the large straight. And if they do that like so, they'll get a 5, and then they don't get their large straight. So Memorize is a very overpowered token, because you can force a die, an opponent to reroll any one die. But it does have a RNG factor, is you have to roll a dice as well. So you have to roll a 5 or 6 to force an opponent to reroll any die. So Memorize, powerful token, until you realize you have to roll a dice, and on a 1 to 4 it is useless. So Memorize is a pretty wimpy token overall in the grand scheme of things. However, she also has Bleed, which, as you don't know, is on an upkeep phase. If an opponent is inflicted with Bleed, they have to roll a dice. If it's a 1 or a 4, they are dealt 1 damage. But if it is a 5 or 6, then they remove the token, and it stacks up to 2. So the main thing about the Vampire Lord is you want to stack up your Blood Power and stack Bleed on the opponent. You can use the Blood Power to remove tokens for yourself or positive tokens from your opponent. Add 3 damage to your attacks, and then of course use a massive lifesteal. Like let's say you activate your ultimate, you deal 10 damage and then spend 4, so you're basically healing 10 to yourself. which is pretty dang powerful. And of course, your ultimate also has a very unique feature where you can search your deck for any one card and put it into your hand. Like if you want twice as wild, basically can put any one card into your hand and then shuffle the deck afterward and then gain 2 blood power. So of course, it is pretty dang awesome if you can do that, because basically you can just put any card you ever wanted in your deck straight into your hand, no problem, then shuffle the deck afterwards. So very powerful ultimate, but the number one thing about the Vampire Lord is gaining up that blood power and inflicting that bleed. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, remember to like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe down below for more videos, and of course, comment down below if you like the Vampire Lord or any other character in Dice Throne, and I'll see you guys with the next hero. Toodaloo!